Hey fourth graders, I hope you guys are doing well this week. In this video, we are going to learn the B-flat scale on our brass instruments, the trumpet, the trombone, the French horn, the baritone, and the tuba. If you don't play one of those instruments, you're on the wrong video. So, what is a scale? A scale, I'm sure you already have sung before in your music classes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. Does that sound familiar? I hope so. Now we're going to learn how to play that on our brass instruments. If you have not printed out the PDF that I sent you or have it open on a computer, just make sure it's big enough that you can actually read it. If you haven't done so, make sure that you go get that attachment right now. It's called the Concert B-flat Scale at the top of the sheet. On the first page, you'll see a bunch of boxes and music right below. In this video, we are going to go piece by piece, line by line through the first page, and then at the second half of the video, we are going to learn Star Wars music, which is on the second piece. Did someone say Star Wars? Yeah! Now, I know that you're excited to learn how to play Star Wars, but here's the thing. We can't run before we walk. We have to learn how to play the notes in the B-flat scale first before we play a song that uses the notes of the B-flat scale. If we are not comfortable playing the scale first, we're not going to be successful playing Star Wars and making it sound really, really correct. I know that you want to play it immediately, but trust me, focus on the beginning of the video and that will make you sound better in the long run. Trust me. Now, let's play the B-flat scale. I need everyone to remember when we were in band. Remember how everyone's instrument uses different note names? In this video, I can't really talk about note names because trumpet players have different note names than French horn players, which have different note names than trombone, baritone, and tuba players. I will be using do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So now let's talk about the first line of music on your worksheet. It looks like this. On your worksheet, you might be playing the bottom line or the top line. Let's first talk trumpet. Trumpet players, if you are playing on your worksheet, you're going to be playing the bottom line. The French horn players, you get to choose if you want to work on your low notes or work on your high notes. I want everyone, whatever you think you're better at, just make sure that those notes get stronger and stronger and stronger. And don't shy away from the high ones. The high ones, just stay relaxed and you'll be set. Now, with trombone players, you are going to be the top line, and baritone players, you're going to be the top line of your sheet, and tuba players are going to be the bottom sheet. So for everyone's worksheet, you should see that there are a low note and a high note for each measure, but you have to decide which one you are meant to play, and I have it written there right at the top. Under step 1, it has all of the notes of the B-flat scale written as whole notes. If I am a tuba player, a baritone player, or a trombone player, I play the B-flat scale using B-flat, C, D, E-flat, F, G, A, and B-flat. If I am a French horn player, my B-flat scale is the F scale. So my notes are F, G, A, B-flat, C, D, E, and F. And finally, if I'm a trumpet player, I use these the instruments of the B-flat scale are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Now, these first 5 notes that we learned on our instruments from our warm-up number 1, now we're just adding the last 3, and this is what the scale sounds like. If you need to stop the video right now and just review what the fingerings are for those notes, I want you to do that now. But now we're going to play those notes as whole notes going from the bottom of our note, do, up to our top note, do. In lessons, we've talked a lot about different lips that we have. We have our low B flat or our low C or our low F lips, or we have our high B flat lips or our F lips in the middle. So here on the trumpet, I have my C lips, my G lips, and my high C lips. I need to have all of those 3 lips figured out. Remember, aiming air down to make that successful. If I'm on the trombone or the baritone, my low B flat sounds like this. My F sounds like this. And my high B flat sounds like this. If I'm on the French horn, here's my low F. And there's my high F. And finally, here on the tuba, I have my low B flat, my F, and my high B flat. Notice I didn't press any buttons or move my trombone slide for any of those notes. It's all about different lip pressure. If you need to, go back, watch the lip pressure video to review how that can help us play different notes higher or lower. Now let's play step 1. Everyone sit up straight, tap your foot to the beat. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. If you need to, back up about 15 seconds and try going up the scale. Again, remember, it's not about getting through the video as fast as you can. It's about learning as efficiently as possible so that your notes sound really strong. So again, if you need to back up, go do the whole notes going up the scale. On to step 2. Now let's play the B flat scale going down from the top note to the bottom note, again using whole notes which last 4 beats. Everyone tap your foot. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Again, if you didn't quite get that, that's okay. You're not supposed to get it on the first try. In this video, I don't need to record it again, just back it up, but now we are going to move on to step 3. If you're not prepared to go on to step 3, take your time, work through step 2 until all of your notes are very clear. In step 3, we talk about different key signatures. Now, the key signature are the flat or the sharp notes that are a part of your scale, and they are put at the left side right next to your clef. If I'm a baritone, a tuba, or a trombone player, my flat notes are written on the second line, the B line, and the third space, the E space. So, in my scale, I have B flat, regular C, regular D, and E flat, regular F, regular G, regular A, and then we have another B flat. So in the key signature, we only have to write it once. If I'm a French horn player, I have a different combination of letter names, and I only have one flat, just the B flat, which goes on the B line of the treble clef. If I'm a trumpet player, my notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. I didn't hear any flats after any of those letters, so nothing is written right here. So, for you, in step 3, we are going to play these notes without the flat symbol written next to this whole note. For step 3, we will play going up the scale using whole notes from the bottom note to your top note. Again, tap your foot to the beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. yourself this question. Are you looking at the letters underneath the music staff, or are you actually looking at the whole notes and where they occur on the line or the space and where those lines or spaces occur? Make sure you're looking at the notes and their locations, okay? The notes I give you, and now you'll see in step 4, I take them away. In step 4, we are going to make the rhythm faster. The speed of the beat will still stay the same, but the note value is now half as much. We will play this using half notes. Half notes are worth 2 beats. Because it's a faster rhythm, it's the same notes, but we're going to have to think a little quicker, and we're going to have to be ready for what note comes next. If you are not knowing what note comes next before you have to play it, it's not going to sound right. If I think ahead, it's going to sound much more controlled and much nicer sounding music. So here we go. Step 4, tap your foot, 2 beats each. So it's like this. Do, re, mi, fa, and so on and so forth. Here we go. 1, 2, posture. 1, 2, half notes. 1, 2, ready. Let's repeat step 4 again, and I'm going to play this on trombone. I need to know exactly where my positions are, and I want you guys to think about a Where's Waldo book. Have you ever done Where's Waldo? If you are new to a Where's Waldo page, it takes you a few minutes to find out where Waldo is. But once you figure it out and once you know exactly where he is, you can come back to that page a couple days, a couple weeks later, and know exactly where it is and point right to it. I want you guys to be able to look at the note on the staff and know exactly if it's your low note, what the name of it is, and what the fingering is, and how and your strategy to make that note be correct. So here we're going to play half notes again. Step 4, everyone tap your foot. Trombones, C first to 6th position. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. If you need more time on step 4, I want you to stop the video, back up a few minutes, and go over step 4 again. Here's the rhythm for step 5. Step 5, we will play this scale where we will add a rhythm for each measure. So here we have a quarter note, and that will be beat 1 because quarter notes only last 1 beat. Another quarter note happens on beat 2, and that's where we put a 2 here. Now, the half note occurs starting on beat 3, so we write the 3, but we need to know in our brains, we need to think the last number of the measure. So on your paper, it's written like this, and what that means is that in our heads, we need to say 4. So if I was to count this out, 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Now let's play step 5 using this rhythm. Now, tuba players and baritone players and trumpet players can look at the combinations of my fingerings for this. French horns, your fingerings are different, and trombones, you obviously have a slide. Here is step 5. Everyone tap your foot. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Did you get that 100% right? Were you using your tongue to make each different note separate from another? Remember, 2, 2, 2, two, two, two. For higher notes, if you're a low note player, you might say toe, 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 toe. And remember, use more air. Now let's move on to step 6. For step 6, it's a different rhythm. Here's the rhythm for step 6. Similar to the last rhythm, we begin with a quarter note on beat 1. So we're going to write a 1 right here. On beat 2, we also have a quarter note, and we will write a 2 there. Let's just skip beat 3 for a second and go, and we have a quarter note on beat 4. So now that means that we make 2 different sounds in beat 3. And in music, what we say, we always say the number where the beat begins. So if we're reading left to right, this one happens before this one. And the halfway point in between the beat is called the and. Now, I'm going to write a plus sign, and we've talked about this. It's a plus sign, but you say and this would go like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. I'm not going woo, 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 woo. I have to use my tongue so that the notes are really separate from each other. And now I'm going to do that on, let's do it on trumpet. Here we go, everyone. Tap your foot. Say the words first. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 And you can stop right there. Now grab your instruments and let's play it. Here's step 6. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. And if it feels good to just play a nice high note at the end there, I always like to do that just because it makes the pattern just sound like it's coming to a nice end. If you need to go over step 6 again and work on articulating or making sure that you're pressing the buttons in the right spot or moving the slide at the right speed, I want you to do that. I want you to make sure that page 1 is completely accurate, steps 1 through 6, before we go on to Star Wars. Let's first listen to what the opening theme sounds like. Ready? Rest, 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 repeat. Rest, 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 done. That is the opening theme. So here's the trombone and the baritone example on the board, but if you're a trumpet player or a tuba player or a French horn player, I'm not talking about notes. I'm purely talking about rhythms which go left to right. So on your music, you still have a half note here. It might not be that location or that clef, but you do have a half note followed by a half note, and it should look the same. Now, let's talk about the rhythm behind this. So first, we have 4 beats per measure like usual. So that means that whatever we do, we have to fill up each measure, kind of like a cup of water, all the way before we go on to the next measure. So here we have a half note B flat, and that will last for 2 beats. So 1, and the line means we'll play through 2. Now, here we have our next note, which is another half note, and that would begin on beat 3 and last through 4. But what is this little arced line right there? Well, that is called a tie. kind of like how you tie a knot or tie two things together, you're basically making it bigger and longer. So here, this note is a half note and it's tied to another half note. That means that we basically add them together. If a half note is worth 2 beats and another half note is worth 2 beats, this note will last a total of 4 beats. It just happens to not start on beat 1. So here we have bum, bum. See how I held that out for 4 beats like this? Bum, bum. For 4 total beats. And that lasted all the way through then beat 1 and the next beat 2. So now we can go on to beat 3. Now, even if I didn't understand what a tie was, I could still look at this measure and say, I start with a half note, so that would be beats 1 and 2. This would be beat 3. And do you remember from rhythm 6, when we have 2 eighth notes, what we put on there? We're going to put a 4 and. Now let's talk about this high note. If you're a trombone player or a baritone player, this is your high B flat. Trumpet players, that would be you playing your high C. French horn players, that would be playing your high F. And if I'm a tuba player, my high B flat is this one. My low B flat's down here, so my high B flat's here. That means that everyone needs to be comfortable with those B flat lips, your F lips, and your high B flat lips. If you can't get this note, maybe spend a little bit more time back on the steps 1 through 6. Make sure that those top notes get clearer and clearer. Remember, firm lips, aim your air down, and use a lot of air behind it. So, for that first note, that will be another half note that will last for beats 1 and 2. And look here, we have the same exact thing happening that we did right here. This is going to be starting on beat 3 and last through beat 4, the next beat 1, and the next beat 2. And so the same rhythm and the same notes happen here. So let's just sing so far what we have. 1, 3, 3, 4, and 1, 3, 3, 4, and now let's go down to the next line of music. Here we have almost the same exact rhythm as we did right here. We have a high note, 1 and 2. Then we have our 3, and that lasts for a total of 4 beats. And now here, the notes are different. We have 3, 4, and, but notice here the notes just went ba, 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 and they go down. These notes, ba, 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 you go back up to this note, or your fa note. So, do, so, fa, mi, fa, re. And this note is probably your easiest rhythm on the page. It is your whole note, which lasts for a total of 4 beats. Finally, in this last measure, we have a whole rest, which means that you count to 4, keeping a steady beat, tapping your foot. And then this is called a repeat sign. And a repeat sign means that we go back to the beginning and we play it over again. So, if I go very slowly with the metronome and I'm to play this, you will see the rhythm as it goes by. Ready? Go. Rest, 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 repeat. So far, if you need any more help going back on the rhythms, I want you to do so. But remember, you know how it sounds. You've heard me play it. You've probably heard it in the movie. And I bet as long as you know what the note names are and how it's supposed to go, you can probably figure it out. Remember to always tap your foot and make sure that you're reading the correct rhythm. Next, we're going to go through the opening theme of Star Wars, 2 measures at a time. So, if we tap our foot, we must know our note names. I'm going to make this a little faster. So tap your foot. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, let's play the first 2 measures. It will sound like this. And it does sound weird to stop right there, but that is the end of the second measure. Now let's do that again, you and me, with the metronome. 1, 2, 1, 2, big breath. Let's do measures 1 and 2 again, and you can hear what it sounds like on the French horn. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. And it'll stop right there. French horn players, if you decide to play the high version, it sounds like that. Now let's move on to measures 3 and 4. Measure 3 is where you have your highest note so far, the top of your B flat scale, your high B flat if I'm a trombone, baritone, tuba, your high C if I'm a trumpet player, or my high F if I'm a trombone player, and I need to be able to get that again. So for the last time, if you haven't gotten the high note yet, that's okay. Go back to the beginning of the video and work through that a little bit more, all right? You shouldn't get this in a day. It should take you all week. Here we go. Sounds like this. And now, if I show you what my first note is, I have to go up to my high note next. My high lips to my medium lips. Now let's do that with the metronome. We have 1, 3, 3, 4, and it's the same rhythm as the first 2 measures, just a different combination of notes. Remember, notes are up and down, rhythm is left to right. Here's measures 3 and 4 with the metronome. 2, 1, 2, big breath. Now, trombone players, I just got to my last note of that measure is 6th position. I need to be able to move from 6th position all the way back to 1st position really quick so that it doesn't sound like this. See how it just... We don't want that. We want us to stop our far note, pull it back in, and be able to play our high note with control, okay? If you need more time to practice measures 3 and 4, I want you to go back about a minute in the video. But now, let's do measures 1, 2, 3, and 4 together, and you will hear the beginning of the Star Wars theme start to make shape. Tap your foot. 2, 1, 2, ready, go. And if your ear thought, oh, keep playing, that means that you're listening and you know what music is coming next. Now let's go on to measures 5 and 6. For measures 5 and 6, they begin the same way that measures 3 did. We have our high note, middle note, But now the rhythm on beat 3 and 4, the notes will now change. Instead of me going down, like I said before, in the rhythm section, I go back up. So here is what measures 5 and 6 sound like. Hear that at the end? I went, and I came back in to play the note higher again. Let's try measures 5 and 6 with the metronome. Tap your foot. 1, 2, 1, 2, big breath. And again, I know that the eighth notes sound kind of strange when they're at the end of the measure, but that's only because we're not finishing out the whole musical line. Let's do that now. Measure 7 is relatively simple. It is just your whole note on whatever your second or your re note is. For the trombone, it's a C. For the baritone, it's a C. Tuba players, it's a C. It should be a G for my French horn friends, and it should be a D for my trumpet playing friends. So it just sounds like this. Not too exciting, I know. But now let's just put measure 7, that one note, let's put that on the end of measures 5 and 6, and you'll hear how much nicer and how much more musical it's going to sound. So here's measures 5, 6, and 7. Everyone tap your foot. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Do you hear how the musical line kind of lands on that whole note? Then we have our rest, and finally we will repeat all of the first 8 measures. So before we go on to repeat, let's just listen to what the first 8 measures sounds like alone, and then we'll go back and play it together with the metronome. Repeat. So make sure you're counting your rest theres. Now, this is the last time we will play the opening theme of Star Wars. If you want to make sure and remember where this the starting point is in the video, feel free to remember that. And now, here's the opening theme of Star Wars. 1, 2, big breath. 1, 2, nice and loud. Rest, rest, repeat. Rest, 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 stop. If you want to hear it one more time on the trumpet, keep watching the video, or you can just go back and listen to it again. This is what it will sound like on the trumpet. 2, 1, 2, ready. Rest, rest, rest. Now I'll play it on the tuba. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. Finally, here it is on French horn. Here we go. 1, 2, ready. The last thing I want you to do this week is try to teach yourself how the Darth Vader theme goes. Now, the Darth Vader theme uses quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. Do you know how long each of those lasts? And then finally, it uses 3 different notes out of your B-flat scale. Ask yourself what notes those are, and just like a puzzle, put the puzzle pieces together, and it'll sound like this. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you like the video. And please send me the videos. Make sure that your parents fill out the Google form at the from their email. And it's also in your Google Classroom. I miss you guys. Have a good week. Happy April.